Thank you for joining us on Morning Spring today, this day, Monday, 21st of July. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Femi Ojo is my name, and it gives me great pleasure. I'm highly delighted to be back here on this grind, the first installment of this program for this week, where we look at every important conversation, and we do have them here on Morning Spring, on Western Spring Television, Channel 190 on StarTimes DTT, and we're also live on our YouTube channel, the Western Spring Television. Thank you for joining us. How was your weekend? I guess it was good, but then we are back to work, and it is Monday o'clock. Good morning, Daniel.
Yeah, good morning, Femi.
Morning. Let me ask, how was your weekend?
Oh, great.
Great, just great. Great, or great?
That's great. That's the official story. Even before thinking about it, I said great.
That's why I'm asking. Is it great?
When you asked
great,
again,
great?
Yeah, when you asked again, I had to think about it. It was great. It was a cool week.
I take it that it was.
Yeah, absolutely, it was cool week.
Yeah.
Good morning, beautiful viewers from all over the world. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. It's a new week, a brand new week, a fresh start, an opportunity to go out there and achieve your goals. Here on Morning Spring, every weekday, we bring you the best of news analysis and, of course, insightful conversations, giving you critical analysis and, of course, breaking news across the nation. And, of course, insightful conversations that you do not want to miss. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. Emeka Daniel is my name. A lot has happened over the weekend. Over the weekend, it was Peter Obi's birthday. He celebrated his 64th birthday, although some people were not allowed to, have some rallies to commemorate his birthday due to some security challenges. But again, he still had his birthday, so happy birthday, 64th birthday to him. And also, Mr. President is in Ogun State for the 8th day prayer, prayer of the late Obasikiru Adetono, the Aujale of Ijebu land.
Yeah.
But there's something else. The Ifa Council, whatever, they are threatening to sue the government for violating their traditional rights. You recall that the late monarch was actually buried according to Islamic rights. And the traditional people are saying, no, you violated our rights. We brought him, anyway, they didn't say that verbatim, but the impression is that they actually brought him into office. That was the tradition made him. So why have you decided to jettison that tradition now? Absolutely.
The processes that made him king, and the same process supposed to be done, to herald his soul to his ancestors, but was jettisoned, for the other religion. It's neither here nor there. But I think looking at it from their point of view is more like that religion, the traditionalists feel relegated every time. They are not just, not just a hobby. It's a form of religion. As you have the Christians, you have the Muslims, then you have the traditionalists as well. And by the way, it's recognized in our laws. Traditional worship, in fact, there is traditional marriage. There is all of those things, the way it's done. And so they feel it should not be. In fact, and I've seen many kings come out since that burial of the highly revered Oba Ujale to say, if you don't want anything to do with tradition, like the traditional worship that makes you king, that is the tradition that makes one king in Yoruba land, for example, there are things you go through, that are how you are thought. The Ikpebi you go to, the Ikpebi, that's the, that sacred, secluded place, is to learn many things. Actually, it's a place of education. It's a place of things beyond the ordinary, in which you are told, in fact, the moment you are committed as king, you are seen as not just a terrestrial person again. Yes, you are still you, but then you are in the same realm with the spirit. That's the way it's supposed to be.
To the gods.
Yeah. So now that you are done, you feel that process is not good for you, or possibly there were words left by the Awujale, we don't know. Or the family feel he died as a Muslim, so he must be buried as a Muslim. And I've seen kings. I think the Olowo of Owo, the referred king in Ondo State, has come out to say, if you don't want to be associated with tradition and traditional worship, don't venture to be a king.
Absolutely.
You can't just get there and then you are trying to edit and review the whole thing. But many persons are saying there are rights, there are things you're supposed to do. And in fact, very interestingly, the Olowo said he has told his children that whenever he dies, don't touch his body. There are people that will come and do what they have to do. In fact, he said he has eruaye, if you know what that means. that was the way Olowo called it. He said his children know that there are eruayes in his body. And so the owners will come for it. That they already know. And by the way, for that kind of a king, that's settled. So when the traditional worshippers come to say, we have something to do, we have some processing, he said, his children already know, let them have their way. And you know, but it's an ongoing conversation. But many traditional rulers, many traditional worshippers are angry that their religion is being relegated to be something fetish, something evil and wicked. Anytime traditional worship, I have hosted a referred traditionalist, the name again now, Oloye, High Chief Ifayemi Elebubon, on this program, it's Start Where You Start. And he said it's just mere deceit, you know. And he said the Nollywood has not really done well by traditional worshippers, because anytime they portray the traditionalist in Nollywood movies, it's about fetishism, it's about money ritual, it's about killings and sacrifices, all those things.
But those are not lies as well, Femi. Those are not lies as well. Daniel, we all know what happens in Africa.
Daniel, have you done one before?
In Africa? No, we see what happens in the society. So you can't...
What the traditional worship... Hold on. What the traditional worship is, the spiritualist. Is, in this Oshogbo, is the Arabawu of Oshogbo. And he said, there are things that are done, but the way it's portrayed in Nollywood films is not exactly like that. That anytime you just say about traditional worship, then something goes off in your body, you think, oh, somebody is trying to harm me. So it's never like that. By the way, who am I to say no? I've never done money ritual. I will never do one. I've never been to such a place. But that is just his thing that and he's a dramatist as well. And he said they are trying to tell the Nollywood people, let's tell our stories. And you know, maybe that's the reason why you are having many epic African stories being told in blockbuster movies right now.
Those movies are quite interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I said you must not just do it, but then either it is this or it is that. Traditional institution is a very big one.
And,
and there are ways things are done. In the UK, when the king was to be coronated, there were processes that ordinary people did not know until that day. They kneel. They have their own calabash that they open, although it's not calabash, but there's something that looks like a calabash. If it's in Africa, we use calabash. Over there, they use a pot made of a golden whatever. These are processes in that place. So if it's good for Igbos, it's not good here. But because, you know, they will put the red clothes and the black clothes, so it makes it scary. A lot of those processes are
like
processes.
you said, there's nothing wrong in tradition. We've been practicing this tradition before Christianity came and other religions. So there's nothing wrong in it. It is what you do with it. But even in the movies, Femi, when they portray it, even in the movies, they show us that, oh, we have the whites and we have the black. They call it Awufufu and the black one.
Interesting.
So these things, what they portray in movies, no matter how fictitious, they are a reflection of the reality of any society. Look at American movies. You see guns, you see fights. That is a reflection of their society. So when these people, these traditionalists, when they are being portrayed like that, that's what most of those movie producers, that's the experiences they've had with them. So they are not totally false. Okay, they also engage in some, you know, unpleasant activities. Quite unfortunately, something happened actually. Also from my hometown, actually, there's this monarch, the king, who came and he said, no, he's a Christian. He doesn't subscribe to all those fetish stuff. Instead of him, he shouldn't have accepted that position as a king. He took it and decided to jettison all the traditional practices and all that, and the people were not, the traditionalists were not happy. During his time, unfortunately, he was murdered. I mean, in a very unpleasant way. They just killed and just dumped his body by the roadside. And people were saying that's simply because he did not abide by the rules. That on a good day, you can't touch a monarch like that. So there are pros and cons.
You know, I said that same place you are seated was where Araba was seated. That day sat, rather, and said, if actually a king will go through all the rites properly, you are taught, whatever it is, you drank, you ate, whatever you are supposed to do, you are taught and you are fortified. He said that he's not, because I asked him, maybe one of these days our producers or, our team will bring up that video again. Maybe today. Might do something on our YouTube page. And he said, if you've gone through what you are supposed to go through, because I asked him, say, Obas are being kidnapped. I mean, Obas are being kidnapped. Obas are paying ransom. Only a day they pay ransom. And the thing was quite, and he said it's because of the Yeye Kings that didn't go through the right process. That normally you are not, something will happen and you are not supposed to be an easy target for people. Nature can happen, but these ones that everybody is just doing anyhow, he says it's because of things that are not done properly. That's a good conversation that we should have or bring back again. But then many things to look at, and not just about that, talking about birthdays. A renowned fashion designer in Abuja, Sheyi Vodi, had his birthday, over the weekend as well. Daniel, there is money in this country, man.
Absolutely.
Like long money, the way they say on social media. It was maybe, before we go, just to sign out, we might have something about that. The man, a tailor from humble background, you might want to say maybe he's not more a tailor. He still carries his tape rule around, and he had, he has done well for himself, and all the politicians were there. One very interesting thing, there was a clip that showed Dino Melai, his position on Tinubu issues and matters, even with Remi when the mother was in the Senate, that's Sheyi's mother, so the first lady, and all of those things. And there was a video that had Dino Melai hugging Sheyi Tinubu, and they were speaking ears to ears, and all of those things was happening. And, somebody said, former, it's the poor people that think these people have problems. You think they have problems. It's the president's son with Dino Melai, an enemy of the president who criticizes almost anything, and he has even joined the ADC to remove the Sheyi's father. And these are people in parties, whispering. In fact, Adam Soshomole sat like this, Dino Melai sat like this, and one poor guy from Igbo Loyi will be arguing at the newspaper stand, saying, no, this person is enemy with the other person. For you.
Political analyst.
You should do better. Well, I don't want to call them that way.
Roadside analyst.
also legitimately, so that you have something good for your life. We go on this quick break. You'll be back. Stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. The newspaper headlines is what we will look at right now, and we have different dailies here. A quick one from the Daily Trust. Daily Trust for today: high fertilizer cost, farmers dump rice and maize cultivation. Farmers dump rice and maize cultivation. Talking about maize, I had some planted in my backyard this year. Well, you don't want to talk about the harvest.
Interesting.
There was a rodent. There was that road. I don't know. I've not seen it. But I've seen the handwork. You know when they say, I've not seen that rodent, but I've seen the handiwork. That thing was a weapon fashioned against that farm. My brother, it is well. Thank God for life. Now, farmers dump rice, maize cultivation. Away from that, stay away from National Assembly. Senate wants Natasha. Nigerians, I'm sure, are tired of this back and forth. Rather, we should move on to better and greater things. Now, pension scheme. Retired police officers protest today. This is not how to treat a veteran. People who have held positions in this country. One thing stands out for me as consequences for this. People that are in service right now, and they are seeing the ways the people that have left the service, they are being treated. What are you putting in their heads? Now, for people that have, some kind of tendencies, that is not a justification, but you are telling them to do something extra for themselves. That's what it means.
Yes, that's what happens most times.
Secure the bag before you leave the service. And anyhow you want to do that, well, it's your own volition that you do it.
Yeah, that's
Police officers are retired, protesting for pension. And some are serving, and they are seeing their people. They are seeing the people that, encourage them to be in the service, protesting for. And how much, if you ask? How much?
Sometimes you even see
something that is not even up to a 16 allowance.
Too. There was a day in a particular bank branch, I don't want to mention the name, former military officers, former soldiers, pensioners, protesting, and they shut down everywhere.
Former military and you are talking about security situations. These are people that know something or two, one thing or two about security, and they're having this difficulty. And there will be people who might reach out to them for their skills.
Yeah.
And we are talking about security. You know, these are issues there.
Absolutely.
There are people that they should not have issues. How much is the money? That's my thing. Some of these money that they are talking about is not even up to a one-day sitting allowance somewhere in Abuja.
Absolutely.
Sad. ADC to Tinubu, no electricity, no votes for you in 2027. Interesting. We'll look into that in the course of the program. For today, Governor Rada involved in the Katsina road crash. All right, with everything is okay. Economies differ on Naira stability amidst $4.1 billion CBN intervention. That will be all.
And from the Daily Trust, moved to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. On the Nigerian Tribune, Tinubu Bakare reveal Awujale's role in June 12 formation of APC. Tinubu Bakare reveal Awujale's role in June 12 formation of APC. We understand that the late Oba Sikiru Adetono Awujale of Ijebuland played a critical role in the formation of the APC and is being recognized for his efforts. Away from that, moving to the top strip of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Tough choices for CBN over interest rates. Tough choices for CBN over interest rates. And beside that, we have retired officers protest. Retired officers protest. Ensure peaceful conduct. Security. IGP tells CPs. Ensure peaceful conduct. Security. IGP tells CPs. You'll find that story on page 29. Away from that, withdraw threat. Apologize to Obi. Falana tells Edo governor. Withdraw threats. Apologize to Obi. Falana tells Edo governor. With a rider, Okpebolo says security protocols must be followed. You'll find our story on page 3. Recall that the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, actually issued a warning. He called it a warning. He said it wasn't a threat. He said it was just a warning to Peter Obi that he shouldn't just visit Edo State without getting security clearance.
His team has said it's about protocol.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So it's not really a threat.
Yeah, it was just a warning. Yeah.
Interesting. We can see, we can hear.
Absolutely.
And we have brains.
Absolutely. Just like the governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, also gave that kind of warning. No, I think Benue State Governor Zone was more of a threat. Do not come. Quite unfortunate in a democracy where people can actually tell someone not to visit their state because they've identified some security challenges. Quite interesting, the kind of politics we play right here. But a lot of backlash because of that statement coming from the governor of Edo State. And he has been trying to clear the air, saying it wasn't a threat, it was just a warning. Away from that, still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Senate to Natasha, stay away from National Assembly. Senate to Natasha, stay away from National Assembly. You find the story on page 4, talking about suspended Senator of Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti Udwaha. She's been warned by the Senate to stay away, despite the court ruling of the Abuja High Court by Justice Binta Nyako, who actually directed a recall to the Senate. And now they are saying stay away. Quite interesting. But if the court has not granted, because what's his name again? The Senate President, Gospel Akpabio, actually appealed. So if it wasn't granted any interlocutory injunction, okay, to stay the execution of that ruling to reinstate Natasha, the Senate has no right to ask her to stay away. That's just it. Away from that, still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Vessels incur losses as debris litter Nigerian waterways. Vessels incur losses as debris litter Nigerian waterways. You'll find that story on page 7. Obi won't be denied right to seek presidential tickets. ADC. Obi won't be denied right to seek presidential tickets. And that's coming from the ADC. With a rider, party asked Tinubu to appoint ambassadors. Party asked Tinubu to appoint ambassadors. That has been long-standing. Up till now, we still do not have ambassadors in our foreign diplomatic missions, which is quite unfortunate. You'll find that story on page 22 and, of course, page 4. And below that, WAEC to release 2025 May-June exam results August 4. WAEC to release 2025 May-June exam results August 4. You find that story.
I guess that one they wrote in darkness.
Absolutely, especially that English language paper written in very unpleasant conditions. And on the bottom strip of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, NELFund loans to students hit 77 billion in 1 year. NELFund loans to students hit 77 billion naira in 1 year. You find a story on page 4. And that'll be all from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, from the Tribune, we look at the Vanguard. The Vanguard is next. YOB, El-Rufai are yet to join ADC, Bolaji Abdullahi. YOB, El-Rufai are yet to join ADC with riders. Ex-PDP Governors Forum, DG joins ADC. Obedience, one party against selling presidential ticket to highest bidder. Omo Agege has no plan to leave APC, but Ayiri Emami. No ADC leader can inherit Buhari's 12 million block votes. Okay, Chuku. All right. And away from that, you have pictures of events, at the bottom. You have that, the 8-day fidal of prayer, 8-day fidal prayer for the late Awujale. Away from that, defection, Adeleke's negotiation hit a brick wall. APC source. Defection, Adeleke's negotiation hit brick wall. Last week, many persons were waiting for official confirmation or denial about that rumor. But it seems we're here to get one now. Now, subsidy removal, turnover profit soar in oil companies. Turnover profit soar in oil companies. And top strip, late Awujale stood for revalidation of June 12 polls. Tinubu and governance media chiefs for Lateef Jakonde's lecture in Lagos, July 23. 2 days from now, former Lagos State Governor Lateef Jakonde, quite, a figure he was. Now, 2025 SSC disregard report on purported cancellation. Federal government WAEC tell public on the humor part. Mr. and Mrs. Mrs. speaks. His hand rested on the breast of another man's wife, and he called that a mistake. He should rot in jail. And the response to that, Mr. says, I agree with you. In football, handling the ball in the penalty box is a grievous offense. Ball to hand or hand to ball. That's another question.
Well, sometimes it can be accidental.
Yeah, and that's why you'll be accidentally given a penalty. And you are 1 day down. All right, that will be all from the Vanguard newspaper.
And from the Vanguard newspaper, we move to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper, PDP's flag bearer battle. I take that again. PDP's flag bearer battle begins after Atiku's exit. Race to 2027. PDP's flag bearer battle begins after Atiku's exit. With a rider, zoning, consensus, strategy top Thursday's PDP's neck agenda. And beside that, we have Makinde, Bala, ticket. So apparently the governor of your state, Sheyi Makinde, is also eyeing the PDP presidential ticket. Let's see what comes out of their neck meeting. Still talking about the PDP, something unfortunate happened in Abuja. The PDP flag bearer for the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State, Jude Ezenwafo, was actually shot by assassins. We understand he's battling for his life. The last time I checked yesterday, he was battling for his life. We do not have details yet. We do hope he survives that. At some point, there was a report that he actually died, but he later came out to say that no, he didn't die, but he's actually battling for his life in a clinic, in a private clinic in Abuja, and police are looking into it. Quite unfortunate. Elections shouldn't be a do or die affair.
Well, Only the police can unravel the motive.
Absolutely.
The motive, actually. Possible have been anything, but we just hope he survived.
Absolutely. Away from that, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, Nigerians spent over $3.6 billion annually on foreign health care under Buhari. Nigerians spent over $3.6 billion annually on foreign health care under Buhari. You'll find our story on page 31. Should we say congratulations to the late president? Then Nigerians spent a lot on foreign health care, just, taking a cue from the president himself, who gets his treatment from London, from the UK. But quite unfortunate. Just imagine investing or reinvesting that $3.6 billion annually into the Nigerian economy. But we are losing that to, healthcare tourism.
It is what it is.
Quite unfortunate. And below that, this day, an Arise TV accused of sensationalism, rather. This day, an Arise TV accused of sensationalism. First Holdco PLC clarifies share trading. And below that, we have company alleges malicious intent behind media reports. You might want to read up details of that story on page 23 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And moving towards the bottom strip, Aujale's blessings paved way for my 2023 victory. That's attributed to Tinubu. Aujale's blessings paved way for my 2023 victory, coming from Tinubu. And below that, on the bottom strip, we have National Assembly showdown. Senate draws battle line over Natasha's return. National Assembly showdown. Senate draws battle lines over Natasha's return. You find that story on page 8. And beside that, doctors to begin nationwide strike Thursday. Doctors to begin nationwide strike Thursday. You find that story on page 24. Once again, Nigerian doctors are planning to go on a strike. Quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. Someone once said that the best thing, your best bet in Nigeria is not to fall sick. Because healthcare...
And stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you avoid doctors and lawyers. Absolutely. I can't remember the last time I saw a doctor anyway. It's been quite a while. Thank God for good health anyway. Quite unfortunate. We do hope that they resolve their issues and they don't have to go on that strike. And finally, from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, Zenith Bank emerges Nigeria's best bank at 2025 Euro Money Awards.
Right.
Zenith Bank emerges Nigeria's best bank at 2025 Euro Money Awards. You find that story on page 33. Zenith Bank doing so well for themselves. Imagine best bank. Of course, it'll be best bank in Nigeria for like 16 times or thereabouts. Now at the Euro Money, they also imagine Nigeria's best bank.
I hope their service is best.
That's the point. That's what I was about to say next.
Because when banks come up with all of these, kudos to them and anyone in that sector. And especially at the end of the year, they come up with, they have made these and that, billions of naira and trillions and all of those things. I'm sure many Nigeria customers are looking at them like this. So what happened? So we're not talking about your service with the big boys. When big boys want to bank, that sometimes the bank might even organize their staff members to go to them. It's fine. That's the way it's done. But the way they take care of the regular people, actually, I know I've sounded that many times on this program, in which when you go to banks and you want to, do some stuff and they tell you no network. That's all. The way they will tell you casually, no network. And so you sit there. I've been to banks around here in which people, definitely they need their issues resolved and they have to be sitting on the floor because the issues have not been attended to. Many of them have come to that place over and over and they are tired and they just want to tackle in that place, if you know what that means. And of course, the benches and the chairs are not enough. You see people, men and women, wasting productive hours in the bank just because no network.
Begging for their own money. Their own money.
The issues and the way you are to. And sometimes if you even observe what is happening, you just see some of their staffers are overwhelmed. Some of them. And so sometimes they become edgy. You could see that the same person attending to your teller is standing to go and clarify something somewhere. He comes back, like 10 people already on him, and he say, "Madam, please sit down. Madam, please sit down." And
I know.
You can relate
with
many of those things. And he's trying to sort somebody and say, "Please, I will attend to you." And that guy that he is speaking or she is speaking to has been there for like 2 hours.
I know how it feels.
So if you don't know what's happening, then argument will ensue. There will be shouting match. Your issues at the end of the day will still not be resolved. You still get to come back. I've had to, forfeit an ATM card that the bank told me is ready, and I got there. The processes were too long. I waited for hours. I couldn't get that. Okay, can you transfer it to another place? I was told that if it's Naira card, they can't transfer. But if it's dollar card, they can transfer. Diego.
Nigerian banks, quite interesting. They should do better. I mean, for their customers.
I'm not impressed when they talk about this best bank, best whatever. But what happens to the quality of service especially online services?
Absolutely.
If your money gets trapped, you better pray your money doesn't get trapped. You'll be in issues, trouble.
Oh, I've had that situation before. I've been in that situation. I had to go to bed hungry. Just because I couldn't access
14 working days.
3 banks,
working days, yeah.
I couldn't access my money.
What was your offense?
I don't know.
Maybe the phone
InterSwitch was having problems.
The phone was too much.
No, InterSwitch was having problems, so I couldn't do any transaction.
And the son of man went hungry.
I won't forget that.
You should write a memoir.
Friday, I won't forget it. And my neighbor was not around. Quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. Anyways, that will be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Right, and that will be all for the segment. We'll be back. Stay with us.